Welcome to another episode of Maestro Speaks podcast.
The equivalent of love is forgiveness. You cannot love without forgiveness.
Lumabalin ka nagiti yung generation anda kumamot nga mapasaran.
Nagdag nga morning mo ako El Maestro.
Tanya deh kung nanay tayo may isa.
I-appeal mo.
Buhayin.
Apil ko man ka nagiti ko. Pipi ako man pilit ganyan. Tutok na.
Di pa nag-approach mo rin?
Amo pa.
Approach?
Beta. Nang nangag ko nga ibagbagan ka lang ni Lola kay
You better know the substance of the law.
Bayaw mo nang ibagas ni Manong.
And who cares if people have dark skin, right?
Kaanakan iti with expiration.
You find any inspiration in this we have done, and you have done your noble part.
Alright, and here we are again, another solo podcast for El Maestro Speaks podcast, coming to you anywhere, Spotify platform, to other podcasting platform. Of course, we also have it on YouTube and Facebook. Alright, so I just decided not to make a conversation with the other people, with some guests. Just want to log this in before I forget it. So, just to see what's happening here right now, we are trying to look at the old ways or the cultures of our older or our ancestors, and then trying to study them and make sense of the cultures, and let's try to emulate it in this modern days and age. That is the essence of having what we're calling the Indigenous Peoples Month. Yeah, and one of the reasons why I want to log this in, because the Indigenous Peoples Month was October, and I'm already recording this episode on November, right? And one of the reasons why we do have that one is just we are all of us in the world acknowledge that we have this wisdom from our different cultures that can keep us go forward in our modern days of living. That these are the cultures, a part of our culture. There's a part of the culture in the olden days that can help us go through our everyday life. It's one of the reasons why we celebrate what we're calling the Indigenous Peoples Month, right? And like I said a while ago, that one is always celebrated the month of August. Now, in this modern day and age, there's a lot of things coming out that you gotta have to sit down and make sense of them. There's things that is being formulated another like a culture, a subculture, if you may say, are created due to the creation or the integration of modern technology in our life, right? So there's that. There are some cultures or beliefs that were created due to the advances in the technology. Okay? Now, one of those like a culture that was created because of the advent of technology is the cancel culture. It's very prevalent in the Western countries. Of course, it started in the Western countries. Where else it's gonna start, right? Cancel culture is, they say, for those, let me just explain to those who doesn't know it, because I think maybe all of us already know it here, because the Philippines is so fond of copying whatever is prevalent or common in America. I don't know why. We are easily influenced by what's happening in America than what's happening with our neighboring countries. Just think of it. Was it that it's very difficult for the Singaporeans to influence us with their way of, say, for example, way of studying, or with their sense of discipline? Why is it so difficult for Japan to influence us with their work ethic? Things like that, right? We are easily, for the Filipinos, we're easily influenced by Americans. Now, cancel culture is a phenomenon that involves, like, because of the advent of, like I said a while ago, technology again, and having a lot of followers means that you'll be gaining some monetization or financial gains when you have those followers. Now, that's where the word cancel culture came in. It's a phenomenon that involves withdrawing support to an individual if they made the mistake, right? Okay, or if there is what we call a statement, and I want to highlight this one, a statement, because apparently people now are so sensitive. If there is a statement that is deemed or seen to be offensive, okay, so when you are cancelled, you are, like, the word in English is, you are ostracized, you are shamed in public, and at times it will lead to you losing your job, will lead to you losing followers if you're an influencer or a blogger or whatever. So that is cancel culture. Now, in a world where everybody seems to what's happening again to my camera here? In a world where everybody seems to depend on their life on social media, or in their social media standing, that's a big deal. In the case of people like us, like me, who doesn't really care much at all, doesn't really affect us. But like I said, in here in the Philippines, it's already coming in here. There's this, the cancel culture is slowly sprouting, slowly creeping in to the veins of the society we are in this country right now. So you see videos of, let's say, for example, let's take it closer to my place, closer to my profession. There's a teacher that had a live stream at the same time scolding students. I don't know what she's thinking. And then they have this, like, they're trying to take the teacher's job away from her. They're trying to make her be removed from the Department of Education. So that's one example of a cancel culture, right? Some people here also were starting to, if they didn't like someone else's page, they will start to mass report it as another style or example of cancel culture. So it's already here, okay, and it's starting to be so prevalent here, but although it's not as common as what's happening in the Western countries. Now, for those igorots, because like what I said, I saw some ticks on the demography of my podcast here, and I see that there are some who are listening abroad. I don't know if there are some people there who are working. Mga kababayan, thank you so much for listening. Okay. I mean, it's a big deal for me if you're listening. And for those maybe of you, maybe some of you are of Filipinos or Igorots who grew up in that country, let's say Canada or whatever. I would just like to talk to you about this thing here. We call a culture or a trait, or what do you call this one? A trait, the ways of our ancestors here in the Philippines that we do practice. That's why I would like to say in this podcast that cancel culture has no place in our culture as igorots. Okay, so those igorots, young igorots who grew up in another country, that's what I want to share to you right now, that cancel culture has no place in our culture as an igorot. So no matter where you are, if you are an igorot, you should not practice or you should not participate in this phenomenon we are calling a cancel culture, because that is not the ways of igorot. Alright? Okay. So in the igorot culture, when there is a dispute among us, or when we have what we are calling the if we have a misunderstanding, we do it in what we are calling the tungtungan. Okay? So you go, there are elders that will, mediate. It's mediation, right? So you talk, you settle your differences through that. Okay? So that's why I said we have, or cancel culture has no place in our culture. If you were offended by someone, go talk to them. Have conversations with them. That's what tongtongan is. This is the essence of tongtongan. You talk with the people. Try to understand where they're coming from. All right? And of course, so that you might not be so that it will not lead to hurting each other, of course, you gotta have someone there to mediate, right? So that is tungtungan. If somebody wronged you, okay, you do not go and say, oh, okay, let's do this, let's cancel him. No. Okay. It's either just leave it alone or you go talk to that person. Okay. So that's how we apply this tungtungan in these modern ways of our life. Okay, you saw someone, especially for the young ones right now listening in the other country, okay, and you are so proud to say that you have an igorot blood. You're from the bloodlines of warriors in the Philippines, in the highlands of the Philippines, and you're proud to be, and you're proud to represent the igorot nation. I'm telling you right now, okay, do not practice this so-called cancel culture. Instead, practice the art of this, or the ways of our ancestors, okay, doing or having what we're calling tungtungan, or having a conversation with the person you are having an argument with. Okay, having a conversation with the person that have said offensive words to you. Okay? So you have to embody our culture if you claim to be an igorot, right? Okay. One more thing for that one is that one of the reasons why we do that, or we should do that, is that in our culture we have what we are calling the Inayan culture. right? And take note, right? And the Inayan culture is, to explain it, in a simplest way. It's translated as the you're afraid of something bad that will happen to you if you do something that's wrong. I mean, not doing something bad to someone because of the fear of the divine justice. Let's put it that way, Inayan. It's like translated as karma, in a way. In a way, it's like that. It's comparable to that one. Okay? Teaches us the importance of morality, respect, and a collective sense of responsibility. Right? Okay? Not doing what is wrong to other people. Okay? Because it might come back to you. We have that principle. Inayan, right? Now, if you practice cancel culture, or this phenomenon that's so prevalent right now, okay, then you better be sure that you won't be making mistake soon in the near future, because they will also do that to you, right? Okay, so the bottom line here is that do not do something that's bad. Okay, do not do something bad to your fellow human being, because it's Inaya. Okay, the power of divine justice will come unto you in the future. Okay, always have in mind before doing something else is this good? If it is bad, then do not do it, because it's Inayan. Might come back to you, might happen to you in the future. Okay, so like I said, the cancel culture is happening right now in this modern day and age. Has no place in our culture. It's an igorot. Okay, you're misunderstanding. We have what we're calling tongtongan, and those are the ways of our ancestors before that is worthy to be practiced now. Okay, that is worthy to be taken into our way of life now, integrated into our way of life at this modern day and age. All right. So, if you claim that you're an igorot, like I said, or if you are an igorot, according to our IPMR here, or to the IPMR of Barangay Puyas Latrin, that Mr. Constancio Macling says, you have to embrace your heritage, learn the ways of our ancestors. This is what I'm talking about. Learn the ways of our ancestors. And those are the ways of our ancestors. They never canceled people there. Okay? In the olden times. Okay? You have misunderstanding with your brethren. Talk it out. Okay? Have people with you to mediate. Okay? That's tungtungan. And of course, we don't easily do bad things. Our ancestors don't easily do bad things to other people because they have the Inayan culture, okay? Or Inayan principle. Alright? So, learn their songs, right? The songs of our ancestors. Learn their dances. Learn their stories, and embody or put it into your heart, okay, the principles that has helped them live through the hardships of life. All right, so That's why I'm saying again. The cancel culture has no place in the igorot culture. Okay? And if you claim, like I said, this is addressed to these people, and of course to the people, young igorots here in the Philippines listening, that, okay, you have to embrace your heritage, and again, practice the principles, the good principles, good practices that was taught to us by our ancestors. Okay, do not just go with the flow of the modern life. Okay? You have to look at our past, our stories, the stories of our ancestors. Look at the wisdom that was passed by them to us. Like I said, those wisdoms are important because, like I said in the past episode of this podcast, that those wisdoms were filtered by time, were tested by time. So it's proven to be true. Alright? And we can use those time-tested principles so that we can go forth to our life. Okay? We can go forward, we can move forward in our life. That's very important. That's the message of, or that's the essence of having what we're calling the Indigenous Peoples Month celebration. Aside from, of course, remembering the ways of our ancestors, acknowledging their contributions in the building of this nation. Aside from that, okay, should also remember those wisdoms, those principles. That's our inheritance that will never be taken away from us. Okay. So again, okay, let's be different. Calling all the young generations of this igorot nation, let's be different. Let's stay away from those cancel culture, the woke culture, etc. Okay, and let's just go back and see those golden principles, wisdom from our ancestors. Okay, let's embody them. Let's use it in our everyday life. That's how you can show that you are proud to be an igorot. Okay, that's my thought for this moment and hour about this topic here. I'll be seeing you again on the next episode of this podcast. Bye bye, everyone.